Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to the Stay In. It is Friday night, so of course we're going to frequent the Stay In. Thank you all for joining me this evening for what is the Scuizzes Choice Quiz. And oh my goodness, the Scuizzes, you have got a treat this evening because you have gone above and beyond sending in all of your questions for this week. Yeah, the incredible questions that you've been sending in. So I've kind of put them all together into a quiz, and yeah, let's see how we go. But yeah, I've really enjoyed seeing all of your questions coming in this week. I'll talk a little bit about the rounds and things in a moment because I have grouped them together. But let's start with: who are you? What you're drinking? And have you been to the pub this week? Sorry for anyone who's across the border who can't go to a pub yet. But yes, how are you doing? As you can see, I'm on wine this evening. Finishing off, well, a Christmas bottle of wine from Tasha. So thank you, Tasha. Just finishing that off. I've had some earlier on. Yes, and I have been to the pub this week. I've been twice to the pub. Once when I was out on a bike ride to Skylarking up on Dartmoor, and then a nice old session down at the Crow's Nest on Wednesday evening. So good to be back out. But there you go. I know not everyone has that chance, or you may not want to. But it's good to have a little bit more freedom, isn't it? Whether you like the pubs or not, whether you've just gone to get your hair cut, or whether you've just gone and bought some new socks in Primark. There you go. But I can see lots of people coming in, so good evening to you. Yeah, lots. What have we got? Lots of white wine this evening. It's a wine old evening, isn't it? Ha ha ha, Malcolm, of course, just you for an extra comment. No, I did finally get my hair cut about 2 hours ago. Last customer of the day. Having seen the queues earlier on in the week, yes. Apparently some people were waiting about 3.5 hours. That's not for me, but all being cut now. So, yeah. So, this evening's rounds. So, as your questions came in, I suddenly had a panic. Oh, Roger's been for 2 pub lunches. Oh, yeah, beating me. I haven't had any food yet. Oh, yeah, as your questions all came in for the Scuizzes choice, I suddenly realised I had to put all of this together, and it's going to be a lot of work. So I've kind of tried to categorise things into rounds and got myself in a bit of a knot. But we have got 4 rounds this evening, as usual. So your first round is entertainment, sport and leisure, all kind of mixed in together. And then after that, we're going to go on to a geography round. And my goodness, I had a lot of geography questions. And then after the interval, we've got a science and nature round. Again, loads of sciencey questions coming in. And then we're going to finish off with just a general everything else round. We've also got a picture round this evening. Although not necessarily pictures, but they're news headlines. Thank you to Steve and Rose here in St Clair for these. So you may have seen them on social media, but I've got 10 fake headlines there. All you need to do is name the nursery rhymes that these correspond to. So can you name the nursery rhymes that these headlines correspond to? Once again, thank you so much, Steve and Rose, for sending those in. I couldn't ignore them because I really like that idea. So yeah, I think everybody who has sent a question in has got one in the quiz. Yeah, please forgive me if I've missed you out. I'll let me know and I can use your question another time. I did end up, at one point I thought I wasn't going to have enough, and I ended up with about 80 questions by the end. So yes, I haven't used, if you sent in 2, 3, 4, 5, some of you I haven't used all your questions, obviously. But yes, thank you anyone who has taken the time to send in some questions for this evening's Scuizzes choice. So that is the running order for tonight. I've already heard that some of you are playing the bingo again. Just to... Sorry, camera's falling now. Some of you are playing the bingo again. You've got out your bingo sheet for a second week running. By all means, please play bingo. I'm going to be saying the same things as always, so you can carry on drinking, raising your glass, whatever you're doing. But yes, we are here this evening. I am ready to begin. So when you're ready, as usual, let me know in the comments, and we can begin this evening's Scuizzes Choice Quiz, as set by you, the stay-in regulars. That camera is going to fall in a second. Let's try that and see if that works. Graham, as always, first one in there. Maybe I've got a direct line to you, Graham, because you're always before everyone else. Danny's ready. Excellent. There we go. Oh, it was freezing at the Manor House earlier. Yeah, it was quite cold having to sit outside for a pint, wasn't it? But when I've been to the pub, but hey, got a pint. Right, lots of ready. So here we go with round one, which is your entertainment, sport and leisure round. So there you go. Question number one. I'm going to start with a question from my mum. So I think I answered this question way back in June or sometime. So if you've got a good memory, you've got a point here. Which novel begins, "Last night I dreamt I went to Mandalay again"? So which novel begins, "Last night I dreamt I went to Mandalay again"? I will try and credit you as I'm going along as well for these questions. Red wine and Heineken for Claire. That's a cocktail and a half. Okay, question number two. This is from Roger, this one. Hi, Roger. So the Beatles released 10 studio albums before they disbanded, but only one of them comprised solely of Lennon and McCartney songs. Which one was it? Was it A, A Hard Day's Night, B, Help, or C, Rubber Soul? So the Beatles released 10 studio albums before they disbanded, but only one comprised solely of Lennon and McCartney songs. Which one? Hard Day's Night, Help, or Rubber Soul? Question number three, from the Tullocks in Somerset. What is the name of a David Bowie song released in 1967 about a garden ornament? What is the name of a David Bowie song released in 1967 about a garden ornament? Question number four from Naomi this time. Our first sporting question of the evening. So due to the COVID-19 pandemic, if you've heard of that, the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo had to be postponed. In what other year were the Tokyo Olympic Games called off? So due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo had to be postponed. In what other year were the Tokyo Olympic Games called off? The lesson here, don't take the Olympics to Tokyo. Oh, I don't hear any ticking noises, Simon. Anyone else hear a ticking noise? Question number 5. This one's from my dad. At the start of a game of chess, how many pawns are on the board? At the start of the game of chess, how many pawns are on the board? I get it now. So I'm just muttering to myself. Yes, Simon. That's why I'm muttering to myself. Anyway, number 6. Back to Graham and Alison now. In the 1996 Spice Girls song, Who Do You Think You Are? What 2 actions complete this line? Swing it, shake it, something. In the 1996 Spice Girls song, Who Do You Think You Are? What 2 actions complete this line? Swing it, shake it. Only 2 actions. Okay, question 7, back up to Anglesey now. Which fictional characters meet at the Tabard Inn? Which fictional characters meet at the Tabard Inn? Question 8. Good evening to the Lou too. Here's one of your questions coming up. Which Premiership football team play their home games at Elland Road? Which Premiership football team play their games at Elland Road? And question 9, this one's coming from Jane. Good evening, Jane. So J.M. Coetzee, I hope I pronounced that right, J.M. Coetzee and Hilary Mantel are the only two authors to have done what? J.M. Coetzee and Hilary Mantel are the only two authors to have done what? Anyone who's got the bingo out probably just tick something off there. And your final question in this round, here's another sports question from Tom. Good evening, Tom. Snuck in at the last minute to get a question in. Question 10. Who is Tottenham Hotspur's all-time leading goal scorer? Who is Tottenham Hotspur's all-time leading goal scorer? Okay, I'll just give you a moment between rounds just to sort out anything. Normally at this point I thank my test teams. I'm not going to thank them this week because they haven't had a look at the quiz. Because you've written it, I kind of acted as a test team myself and went through and saw what I could get right and threw them together. So yes, and I think we've got a test team possibly joining in tonight, actually playing along at the moment. Gives them a chance to join in. Haven't this week, but are joining in hopefully. So there you go. Colin would like question 4 again. Of course, Colin. So question 4. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo had to be postponed. In what other year were the Tokyo Olympic Games called off? So I'm looking for the year there, please, Colin. Round 2. So a geography round. As I said, loads and loads of geography questions came in. So I've narrowed it down to these ones. I'm going to start off round 2, question 1, with the Grinsteads, who have sent in 2 geography questions. So here's one of your questions. Good evening, Grinsteads. Yeah, I can spell the author name before I do question 1. So it's J.M. And the Coetzee is C-O-E-T-Z-E. C-O-E-T-Z-E. I probably completely mispronounced. There you go. Anyway, round 2, question 1, courtesy of the Grinsteads. What is the largest US state by land area? What is the largest US state by land area? Just top up my drink. There we go. Bottle finished. Thank you, Tasha. Okay, question 2 from Roger in Bath. What is the most populous Muslim country in the world? What is the most populous Muslim country in the world? Question number 3 is for Malcolm here in St. Clear. Now, I accidentally deleted your email, but I've made notes. It's worded slightly differently to what you said, I think, Malcolm. But question number 3. In which English county would you find Grimes Greaves, which are a set of Neolithic flint mines? In which English county would you find Grimes Greaves, a set of Neolithic flint mines? Yeah, I was trying to copy and paste your question and it just disappeared. So yes, I know it's worded slightly differently to what you said there. Question 4 in round 2 is from Ian in Three's a Crowd. Tardebigge locks in Worcestershire is the longest flight of canal locks in the UK. To the nearest 3 locks, how many locks are in the flight of locks? So Tardebigge locks in Worcestershire is the longest flight of canal locks in the UK. To the nearest 3 locks, how many locks are there? Actually been there, not in a barge. I've walked past them all, however many of them there are. Question 5 from Naomi here. So, how many time zones does China have? How many time zones does China have? Oh, next door are having fun by the sounds of it. Really laughing at something. Makes a change from the kids upstairs, doesn't it? Question number 6. I think this is another one from Bath here. So, which is furthest west? London, Paris, or Barcelona? Which is furthest west? London, Paris, or Barcelona? Colin's done the flight of locks. Did you count them all, Colin? Oh, how long did it take you to do them all? Okay, question number 7 is from James C. What is the county town of the smallest county in England? What is the county town of the smallest county in England? Thought it might take all day, Colin. A lot of effort for you, winding the paddles. Okay, question number 8. This one is from Leslie in Three's a Crowd. On which line is the most southerly station on the London Underground network? On which line is the most southerly station on the London Underground network? Yes, of course I can, Claire. Number 6. Which is furthest west? London, Paris, or Barcelona? Which is furthest west? London, Paris, or Barcelona? Okay, question number 9. This is once again from the Tullocks. What is the national capital of Canada? What is the national capital of Canada? And question number 10. We started the round with the Grinsteads. We're going to finish with the Grinsteads. So question 10. Baku is the capital city of which Eastern European country? Baku is the capital city of which Eastern European city? So there you go. Those are your geography questions, Scuizzers. Thank you for submitting those. Yeah, like I said, I've got a lot of geography questions in. So yeah, if your question hasn't been used, please don't feel disheartened. Purely because I have to whittle them down somehow. But I will probably slip them in over the coming weeks if I can for a lot of them. So yes, but thank you for taking the time. They've made my day anyway, reading them all. So yes, thank you to everyone who has sent them in. But as usual, we've had 2 rounds, so it's time for our short interval where you can go to the bar and do whatever you need to do here at the Stay Inn. You know, get a drink, bar snacks, use the facilities. A few of you keep chatting up the barmaid, I hear. So yes, do whatever you need to do. Now, in this time, as usual, the picture will flash up, which is those fantastic nursery rhyme headlines from Steve and Rose. I'm glad you're loving the geography, Katie. I'm expecting 10 out of 10 on that round for you. Yes, so we'll have a break and we'll be back in just over 5 minutes or so to do the answers to those first 2 rounds. And then we will go on to round 3, which is the science and nature round, and round 4, which is your general knowledge round. So thank you very much for joining in, and thank you to everyone who has had their questions read out so far. So here come your newspaper headlines, and I shall see you after the intervals. Speak to you soon, Scuizzes. Okay, Scuizzers, I am back from the bar here at the Stay Inn, ready to go through your answers to the first two rounds. Now that you've heard my voice, hopefully you're ready to mark those first two rounds. Scuizzers, you've forced Carol to turn to the gin, but she's not complaining, so well done. You've made Carol's evening by the sounds of it. Sounds like Carol and Graham would get on well with their love of geography questions there. But here I am coming back now. Yes, first two rounds. Shall we do some answers? Let me just get my answers up. If I can find them. Oh, there we go. I've got them in two different places. Okay, so round one was your entertainment, sport and leisure round, wasn't it? So let's see how you've done on these first two rounds. So question number one, the novel that begins "Last night I dreamt I went to Mandalay again" is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. Question two, the only one of the Beatles albums comprising solely of Lennon and McCartney songs was number A, letter A, choice A, Hard Day's Night. Three, the David Bowie song was The Laughing Gnome. Question four, the other year that the Tokyo Olympic Games was called off was 1940. Question five, there are 16 pawns on a chessboard at the start of the game. Question six, you had to complete the line from the Spice Girls song, so swing it, shake it. You were looking for move it, make it. Move it and make it. Question seven, the characters who met at the Tabard Inn, they were the pilgrims in the Canterbury Tales. Question eight, it's Leeds United, who play at Elland Road. Question nine, Jem Coetzee and Hilary Mantel, the only authors to have won the Booker Prize twice. And question 10, Tottenham Hotspur's all-time leading goal scorer is Jimmy Greaves. Now, what I need to know is, did anybody get Jimmy Greaves right? Because I had a bit of a discussion in the house earlier, so nobody's ever heard of Jimmy Greaves. Yeah, so let me know if you got Jimmy Greaves, just out of interest. And then round two is your geography round. So question one, the largest US state by land area is Alaska. Question two, the most populous Muslim country in the world is Indonesia. Question three, you'd find the Grimes Graves in Norfolk. 4, Tardebigge locks. There are 30 locks. So I said 3 at either side. So 30 locks. Question 5, China has 1 time zone. Question 6, London is the furthest west. Question 7, the county town of the smallest county, that's Oakham, which is in Rutland. Question 8, the most southerly station on the London Underground, that is on the Northern Line. Cracking question there. Number 9, the capital of Canada is Ottawa. And number 10, Baku is the capital of Azerbaijan. So there you go. And lots of people got Jimmy Greaves right. Excellent. I knew that people would. And so did Tom, actually. Because that was your easy question, I presume, Tom. So how have you done so far out of those 2 rounds? Like I say, Danny got 6 in the first round there. But let me know how you're doing so far. And if you're not doing very well, first of all, I hope you're having fun, because the winner is whoever's had the most fun. But also, you can't blame me this evening. I've got a get out of jail free card this evening. So yeah, here we go. Scores are coming in. We're ranging from 8 up to 15 at the moment. All depends what you know. Easy if you know the answer. Stephen Rose on a cracking 18 points there. Well done. Roger's on a 15 as well. If you sent a question in, you're bound to get 1 point at least this evening. That's the good thing about this quiz. So yeah, score's still coming in. We've got 12 from Mum and Dad there. Katie's got 8. Oops. Oh dear. Right, it's all about having fun. There you go, Claire's having Kai, another excellent score. Your Leicester team, your scores at the moment are just going up and up and up there. So well done. Right, some great scores coming in, some not so great scores, but apparently you're still having fun. So that's the main thing, isn't it? Graham always forgot the answers to his questions. Brilliant. Do you know what? People always say to me, do you know loads of things because you do these quizzes? And to be honest, half of the questions that I ask, I cannot remember the answer to a few weeks later because I do so many. So yeah, I totally sympathise with you there, Graham. But let's move on, shall we, to round number 3, which is science and nature. Again, you're a bunch of geographers, you're a bunch of scientists as well. Loads of science and nature questions coming in. So, round 3, question number 1. So this is from Colin. So, which planet in our solar system is entirely populated by robots? Thank you, Colin. Which planet in our solar system is entirely populated by robots? I think that was the first question that I had come in after I announced that we were doing it, the Scuizzes choice. So thank you, Colin, for being quick off the mark and providing an excellent question. Question number 2 from Sandra. What is another name for iron pyrite? What is another name for iron pyrite? Didn't delete your question. It was any mouse. Question number 3 from Jules. He's relatively new to St. Clear, but he's joining in with the quizzes. So thank you, Jules. How many yards are there in a mile? How many yards are in a mile? Yes, on the beer now. Thank you, Mum and Dad. It's the last of my Easter beers on a Hobgoblin Gold. There you go. So thank you, Mum and Dad, for that. And that's my Easter beer gone. But I've still got loads of the Welsh Rugby beer to go. Tick mention Wales. Question number 4. Here's another question from the Loo 2 for you. What is the collective noun for a group of crows? What is the collective noun for a group of crows? And question number 5. Also talking about crows in a way. This is from Dave from Team Pebbles. Which member of the crow family has the Latin name Pica Pica? So which member of the crow family has the Latin name Pica Pica? So that's P-I-C-A, P-I-C-A, Pica Pica. In case my Latin isn't up to scratch. Okay, question number 6. We've just been to Dave, so we'll go to Sandy this time. Can you name the African relative of the giraffe which only has stripes on its legs and its bottom? So can you name the African relative of the giraffe which only has stripes on its legs and its bottom? Thank you, Sandy. And it was great to have a chat to you the other day as I was delivering birthday cake. That was one of the highlights of my week, delivering birthday cake to some Scuizzers and just having a chat to you all. Yes, I hope to see you all in the flesh sometime soon again. Question number 7. This one is from Leslie in Three's a Crowd again. So Linus Pauling and Marie Curie are the only two people to have done what? So Linus Pauling and Marie Curie are the only two people to have done what? Question 8. This one is from Jan. Thank you, Jan. Which bird has the longest migration? Is it A, a Bewick's swan, B, an Arctic tern, or C, a swift? Which bird has the longest migration? Bewick's swan, Arctic tern, or a swift? Thank you, Jan, for that question. Two questions left in this round. So question number 9 is from Vicky. Thank you, Vicky, for sending this in. Of course, I realised when I read your email that you're back teaching this week. We've still got another week off. We're back on Monday, so we broke up later than you. So thank you for sending this in, Vicky, on what's been a very busy week for you. So question number 9. Who was the man in Apollo 11 that did not walk on the moon? Who was the man in Apollo 11 that did not walk on the moon? This is one of these facts that I know I should know, but I keep forgetting it. So hopefully next time I'm asked, I'll have a picture in my mind of Vicky sending in a Scuizzes question, and it will help me out. And question 10, back to Lou 2 for this one. What is a baby hare called? What is a baby hare called? So just a moment, and then we'll begin our final round, the general knowledge round. So just things that I couldn't quite fit into a round. The rounds did chop and change a few times, depending on when the questions came in. So we've got random things in this round. So yes, let's see how we go on that round. So just general knowledge for this next round. Carol's much happier with that round. Excellent. But you can continue drinking the gin, Carol, to celebrate. Okay, so round 4, question 1. This is another question from Jules. In the Brummie and Black Country dialects, what does blarting mean? So in the Brummie and Black Country dialects, what does blarting mean? Oh, Jules, I didn't know you're from the Midlands. I lived in Birmingham, Crazy Heath, Dudley, for quite a while, all those places. Yes, so I remember blarting from working at schools. Kids would always come up and say blarting in a sentence. I won't say it in a sentence because it gives it away. Kai, question 6. Hang on, question 6, of course. So question 6 in round 3 for you, Kai. Can you name the African relative of the giraffe which only has stripes on its legs and bottom? I'll repeat for Kai there. What's this from the Grinslow's days? I shouldn't be mixing the grape and the grain. Yeah, probably not, but it just happened. Hey, it's the last few days of Easter holidays. Let's go with it, Katie. Question number 2 in this round. This one is from Kate from Team Pebbles. Again, it was great to have a conversation with you the other day, Kate. What is a hurdy-gurdy? What is a hurdy-gurdy? Question number 3. This one is from Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. I did see a message flash through that you had lots of people on your team this evening from different places. So thank you, Lisa, for sending this in. So born in 1876, Sophia Duleep Singh was the daughter of Maharaja Duleep Singh and was an active member of the women's suffrage movement in the UK. Who was her godmother? So born in 1876, Sophia Duleep Singh was the daughter of Maharaja Duleep Singh and was an active member of the women's suffrage movement in the UK. Who was her godmother? Thank you, Lisa. That came from your local history teaching a few years ago, I believe. Yeah, it's amazing what comes up in local history, doesn't it? Okay, question number 4. This was another question from Colin this time. It's another one from Colin. People with what colour eyes have the highest tolerance of alcohol? Excuse me. People with what colour eyes have the highest tolerance of alcohol? Question number 5. Here's another question from Jane. Who was the First Minister of Scotland? Who was the First Minister of Scotland? Question 6, back to Graham and Alison for this one. The name of the supermarket Asda is derived from which two words? The name of the supermarket Asda is derived from which two words? There's 4 questions left this evening. So question 7, we're going back to Naomi now. So 45 years after King Richard III failed to get out of Leicester alive, which other hugely significant historical English figure also met his maker in Leicester? And so 45 years after King Richard III failed to get out of Leicester alive, which other hugely significant historical figure also met his maker in Leicester? Question 9, back to Jane. Who was the first Prime Minister of the UK? Who was the first Prime Minister of the UK? At one point I thought I was going to have a politics round, because I had quite a few political questions coming in, but we'd never quite made it up to 10. So who was the first Prime Minister of the UK is question number 8. Okay, penultimate question of the evening for you, courtesy of the Tullocks. When His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, died, how many great-grandchildren did he have? When His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, died, how many great-grandchildren did he have? We never really mentioned Philip last week. We were too busy having a birthday party, weren't we? Yes, but there you go. Funeral tomorrow, isn't it? If anybody is watching. And then question 10, courtesy of Malcolm. How long is a piece of string? There you go, Malcolm. Question 10 from you. How long is a piece of string? I can always count on you, Malcolm, for your wit and your humour. So one of the things I look forward to most at a quiz up at the Stag when it was open was your monthly jokes about tea. That makes sense to me and Malcolm. Right, so those are your questions for this evening. I'll waffle a bit just for a few seconds in case any repeats come in. But yes, as you can see, it's such a mixed bunch of questions. Thank you so much to everyone who sent them in, even if not all of your questions were used. Yeah, it's been brilliant seeing them and putting them all together into a quiz, and I think it's actually got a very different feel to the quiz to when I do it. So it's good to have a different kind of mix of questions in there. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed what you have created this evening, Scuizzers. Yeah, and it's been really nice to have the messages from you saying how much you appreciate being able to get involved with setting a quiz. So I'm glad that I did it. But next week, I have been working on a quiz for next week, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later on. There's not a theme as such, but yeah, I'll explain a little bit more afterwards. But I haven't seen any more repeats coming in, so I'm going to say we're going to have a quick 2-minute break before we come back with the answers to those fantastic nursery rhyme headlines from Stephen Rose, and then we'll do answers to rounds 3 and 4. I have got a tiebreaker question which came in earlier on today, which is just an absolutely cracking tiebreaker question. I absolutely love it. Yes, so I'll speak to you again in about 2 minutes' time with the answers to all your questions. Speak to you soon, Scuizzers. Let's put the headlines up for you. Hey, welcome back, Scuizzes. I'm back from the bar, ready with your answers. So hopefully you've heard my voice and are ready for some answers. I'll just give you a moment to get yourselves ready. Can I just say, Danny, I've seen your picture on there saying that you're ready in Bristol. I hadn't spotted that beforehand. But yeah, it looks like you're all set up for the quiz, doesn't it? Yeah, it's one of the strangest things about doing all this is every week or so I get a picture of me sent and saying, look, I've got you on the telly, as people have figured out how to get YouTube on their telly. Yeah, so I'm used to just seeing random pictures of me or Scuizzes on the telly, which always amuses me, so keep them coming in. But here we go. So this was the picture round. If it was in the quiz, I'd call it the table round. So courtesy of Stephen Rose, we had 10 headlines which led you hopefully to 10 nursery rhymes. I'd have never come up with this round, so well done. Thank you, Steve. So here are your answers to that round. So I've got young female in terror attacked by arachnid is Little Miss Muffet. Trio of visually impaired rodents suffer brutal attack is 3 blind mice. Female stalked by woolly creature is Mary Had a Little Lamb. Possible flasher spotted on housing estate, Wee Willie Winky. Collapse of capital landmark is London Bridge is falling down. Musical peel has fruity beginnings, oranges and lemons. Arachnid finally scales outdoor structure after period of fine weather, Incy Wincy Spider. Young female goes up and down in quick succession, Saw Marjorie Daw. Medical man has mishap while visiting the West Country, Dr. Foster. And sleeping infant in danger of falling is Rock-a-bye Baby. So those are your nursery rhymes there. Little Miss Muffet, 3 blind mice, Mary Had a Little Lamb, Wee Willie Winky, London Bridge is falling down, oranges and lemons, Incy Wincy Spider, Saw Marjorie Daw, Dr. Foster, and Rock-a-bye Baby. There you are, and here is my ugly mug once again, ready to go through the answers to rounds 3 and 4. Oh, I've got them in the wrong order here, hang on. No. There we go, that's better. So, round 3 was our science and nature round, so let's see how you did on that round, Scuizzes. Number 1, the only planet in the solar system entirely populated by robots is Mars. Question 2, iron pyrite is fool's gold. Question 3, there are 1,760 yards in a mile. 1,760 yards in a mile. Question 4, the collective noun for a group of crows is a murder. Absolutely love that. Question 5, a pika pika is a magpie. The African relative of the giraffe, okapi, O-K-A-P-Y, okapi. Question 7, Linus Pauling and Marie Curie. Well, they're the only 2 people to have won a Nobel Prize in 2 different disciplines. Linus Pauling in chemistry and peace, and Marie Curie in chemistry and physics. Question 8, the bird with the longest migration is the Arctic tern. Question 9, it was Michael Collins who never walked on the moon despite being on Apollo 11. And question 10, a baby hare is called a leveret. Danny, I'm glad you loved that picture, because yeah, as soon as I saw it, I knew I was using that whole round. Yeah, brilliant round, I thought. And then round number 4 was your general knowledge, a mix of everything. So question 1, blarting means crying. Question 2, a hurdy-gurdy is a musical instrument. Question 3, Sophia Dalip Singh's godmother was Queen Victoria. Question 4. People with blue eyes have a higher tolerance of alcohol, so I'm doing well. Question 5. The First Minister of Scotland was Donald Dewar. Question 6. Asda is derived from the words associated dairies. Question 7. The significant figure to meet his maker in Leicester, well, that was Cardinal Wolsey. Question 8. The first Prime Minister of the UK was Sir Robert Walpole, who happened to be the longest serving Prime Minister as well. Question 9. Prince Philip, well, he had 10 great-grandchildren when he died. And the final question from Mal. How long is a piece of string? Well, it is twice the length from the middle to the end. So those are your answers for this evening, Scuizzes. So yes, I can see Simon from the Manor team. I've got 10 in that Science and Nature round. So that seems to have gone down well, Scuizzes. You create some great Science and Nature questions. And I know Carol enjoyed that round better than the Geography round as well. Yes, so as usual, let me know how you have done in the chat. As I said, next week, I haven't got a theme as such. I'm just going to do a quiz, but I've got an idea of what I want to work into it, but I don't want to reveal too much. A, because it would give it away, and also B, because I don't want to put you off. So hopefully that is enough to intrigue you enough to come back next week at 8 o'clock. So, you know, at the little heading thing here, just as the Stay In Virtual Pub Quiz, 23rd of April at 8 p.m. Yeah, so nothing special, but please come back. I am working on something. I've been working on it all week. I'm nearly there with it. Yeah, so I hope you'll come back next week for the quiz. Lots of you asking me, how long is this going to continue? What a question. I don't know how long it's going to continue, to be honest. You know, pubs are open, but they're not open fully yet. But also, some of us aren't ready to go out to pubs. Also, some of you are in areas of the country which don't have pubs open, so I really don't know how long I'm going to carry on. But yeah, it's going to carry on for the next few weeks at least. You know, I can say till the end of May, definitely, I'm going to carry on. And then we'll kind of take a rain check from there and see how we're going. And the Great Scuizzes meetup, it's starting to snowball a bit. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I'm looking at last week of July. I'm looking at just penciling in a date with some pubs at the moment. But there you go. That's given me enough time to see how the scores are going. So yeah, we've got 34 from Graham and Alison there, and Natalie of course. 40, 44, 35, 29, 34. Roger says, great questions, everybody. Do you know, they really are great questions. You know, and that is, yeah, you know, that's absolutely brilliant, the amount of questions that I've got in, because when you set a quiz yourself, you can kind of adapt it and see how you think people are going to go, and make sure there are some in there that everyone's going to get. When everyone's throwing questions in, they are such brilliant questions, you can't leave them out, which is maybe why it's been a little tad harder than before. But some great scores coming in. Yeah, I think I've got a few more. 40, 43 there, 34. Yeah, so great scores coming in. Now, I got an email earlier on today from Jackie. Now, Jackie and me quite often email about things, don't we, Jackie? You know, every few weeks or few months we have a little email exchange. Very brief one, but I feel like I know you now. And Jackie said, I don't know if you thought about a tiebreaker, but I've got one. And I read this tiebreaker and I thought, do you know what, I'm out of a job, because this is the best tiebreaker I have seen. Okay, so here is your tiebreaker for this evening, courtesy of Jackie. If you could run at Usain Bolt's top running speed all the way, how long would it take you to run from Edinburgh to St Clear via Newcastle, Sheffield, Leicester and Bristol? So lots of the places we mentioned last week in the Where Are You From round. Yeah, so if you could run at Usain Bolt's top running speed all the way, how long would it take you to run from Edinburgh to St Clear on a route via Newcastle, Sheffield, Leicester and Bristol? You know, it would have been too long to go via Anglesey and Swansea, but everywhere else pretty much spits on quite a nice straight line. So huge kudos there, Jackie, for coming up with this question. Yeah, how long would it take if you were running Usain Bolt's top speed to get from Edinburgh to St Clear via all the places that you Scuizzers live? Yeah, throw them in there and we'll see how we're going. Just in case you know, I always say, don't I, it's the time of the evening where you get to play against your team. It's the one question where you don't have to agree with the person sat next to you. So you can have a go against them. Yes, Kai, it is. What a question. I really could not have come up with something that great. No, and half the questions this evening, to be honest, you just blown me out of the water. I'm going to be out of a job. Or I'm going to be out of a Friday night hobby. But yeah, how long would it take? Let me know. And yeah, next week we'll be back as usual. So here we go. First one's coming in. Graham is saying 22.5 hours. Anyone else going to have a guess? Just going to finish up my drink while I'm waiting for any more guesses to come in. I've got nothing left to announce really, so I'm just talking to myself as usual. A few of you I saw this week were saying, how do you just speak at a camera? I don't know, but I just go for it and speak. And all I can see on the screen is a little bit of chat, a picture of me and a few little graphs down there. Yeah, a few more answers coming in now. 20 hours, 30 hours. Well, now that is finished, I will let you know and give you some information. So, based on Google Maps, your journey would be 548 miles. Usain Bolt's top speed is 27.3 miles per hour, which means that it would take you 20 hours, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. So 20 hours, 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Long time, says Stephen. Katie, you are 4 minutes and 12 seconds out. So Katie, you may not be happy with your score this evening, but you have got closest with the tiebreaker. So there you go, Katie. Or the whole Grinstead crew, whoever is joining in this evening. So well done. Yeah, what a fantastic question. I keep saying it, but thank you so much to all of you for sending in your questions. You know, it's taken twice as long to put the quiz together this week, but it has been twice as much fun, so it's definitely been worth it. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for coming out, or thank you for staying in at the Stay In this Friday evening. I hope to see you next Friday at 8 PM for our next Stay In virtual quiz. In the meantime, please stay safe in whatever you do. As I keep saying, don't mess it up now. We are almost there. Yeah, go out, enjoy your new freedoms, enjoy the shops, enjoy getting your hair cut, enjoy going to the gym and going swimming, enjoy going to the pub if you are allowed to wherever you are, especially if you're in Leicester where they've opened for the first time in goodness knows how long. Was it July they closed up in Leicester? I don't know. But yes, thank you so much, and I will look forward to this time next week to see you all. Good night, everybody. Let's click that and remind you about next week. Yeah, good night everybody, stay safe.